Hey guys, and welcome back to the Retail Rip Review. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, head back to baseball, and we're going to kind of pay homage to one of my favorite sets of this year, which was 2025 Topps Heritage. And to do that, we're going to take a look back at some of the previous year's Heritage sets, specifically 2021 through 2024, just in case you haven't gotten a chance to see what some of the card designs look like. And we'll also use that opportunity to kind of talk about those particular seasons, anything interesting that may have happened, and also anything fun that you may find in those particular years of Heritage themselves, as well as the rookies that we might be looking for in each one. So we're going to start off our journey today with the 2021 release of Heritage. This is based on the 1972 Topps card design. The first Heritage set was released in 2001 and was based on the 1952 Topps design. So it's just kind of increased a year ever since then. So I guess we'll just kind of keep going until infinity. It's going to be real meta when we start seeing like the Heritage sets from 2025 and things like that. But just as a quick PSA about Heritage, I'm sure everyone's aware, but Heritage is definitely not heavy on the hits. Is more of a set builder's set. You know, you're trying to collect all the short prints, look for image variations and error cards and things like that. So we're probably not going to come across anything too crazy. In fact, we're probably going to miss some things because some of the image variations in the older Heritage sets can be a little, I think, frustratingly obscure. Like subtle color differences. Those can be tough for people like me who have trouble with colors, but we'll see what we can get. The 2021 or the 1972 card design, affectionately referred to as the psychedelic tombstone. I have to be honest, it's not really my favorite card design. It definitely looks groovy, in like a 1972 kind of way. But it has some serious centering issues, I think, on a lot of the cards. And overall, I just prefer some of the other designs, personally. Things to note in the 1972 season. This was the first year, or the year that the Texas Rangers made their debut, so there are inserts in the set that kind of commemorate the debut of the Texas Rangers. 72 was also the last season that Roberto Clemente played a full year of, and so there's a lot of inserts in the set that commemorate his Hall of Fame career as well. There's some very interesting relics you can find, some that have like coins in them that are from the year 1972. These are kind of more hobby exclusive things. We're definitely not going to run into any of those, but I think it's kind of worth popping on screen and seeing, just so you can see kind of some of the interesting things that they were doing at the time. We're going to come across a multitude of cards in here, but they're mostly just going to be base cards. We'll see who we can come across. As far as rookies for the set's concerned, this is actually a pretty weak rookie class. Jazz Chisholm, Brian Hayes, Alec Bohm, these are kind of like the big names of the class. So we're probably not going to find anything too wild in here. And like the other sets, the short prints are going to be from 401 to 500. All right, that's enough talk about the 1972 season. Let's check out the cards. Oh boy. Tell you what, this plastic is pretty tough to get into sometimes. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. And here is our card design. Like I said, the psychedelic tombstone. It is groovy, but like I was saying, some of the variations, just off the top of my head, there'll be things like the stars will be missing, or let's say instead of the yellow, I'm not sure what these colors are, like, these colors will be swapped, like one will be over here, things like that. I don't know, that's a little too obscure for me. I like it when it's a little bit more on the nose. It doesn't have to like scream at me, but I just want it to be something that even I can detect. But in any case, let's look at our cards and see what we get. We have a card here commemorating the 2020 World Series Game 4. Awesome. Game 4 at Arlington, Los Angeles versus Tampa Bay. Well, we all know how that ended up, but they were happy at the time. Here's Dylan Bundy, Matt Barnes. There's an Aaron Judge card, very cool. Byron Buxton, Michael Taylor, Alex Bregman. Here we have 2021 Rookie All-Stars here. Joey Bart, Dalton Varsho, Ryan Jeffers. Okay. Tim Anderson, Rafael Montero. We have a 2020 AL batting leaders. There's Tim Anderson, DJ LeMahieu, and David Fletcher. I do like the kind of league leader cards from the previous year. It really takes you back in time, because some of these names I come across I haven't thought about in a long time. Ryan Yarborough. Here's the 2021 Rookie Stars for the Royals, Brady Singer and Nick Heath. Cool. There's Freddie Freeman back on the Braves. We'll go ahead and put you on the stands. Jalen Beeks, Van Gamel. Here's the flashbacks to the 1972 season. They do these as well for each year. So this one is Howard rings up the first home run in Rangers history. So yeah, there we go, talking about our debut of the Texas Rangers. Frank Howard, first baseman, first homer in the history of the franchise, April 21st, 1972. 6'7", 280 pounds. Jeez, guy was a beast. Here we have an in-action card with Nelson Cruz. These are kind of fun because, you know, they started incorporating more of these action shots and including these cards, but on the backs of them, some of them, not this one, unfortunately, they'll have puzzle pieces. So hopefully we'll come across another one of those and we can take a look at those. Let's see what else we have here. Here's an in-action with Jose Altuve. You guys are going to make me look bad after I talked about the puzzle pieces. Here's Juan Soto back on the Nats. Oh, man. Here's 2021 rookie stars for the AL, Ryan Mountcastle and Bobby Dalbec. Here's a Cy Young Award insert here. This was for, who won that year? Not sure, doesn't say. All right, we'll move on. Dexter Fowler, Albert Pujols, in action with Jose Ramirez. There we go. I knew you'd come through at some point. So there's a piece of the puzzle that you can collect, and there's a ton of them from what I've seen. So that would be, you know, if it was 2021 and you were collecting Heritage, that would be a fun one to come across. Adam Eaton. Here's another in action with Miggy Cabrera. There's another puzzle piece. Don't know who that person's face is. Anybody in the comments, let me know. You have Trent Grisham. 2020 AL postseason Rays are AL champs. You know, I talk about the Braves having better times, but I think the Rays would probably agree with that as well. Evan Longoria, speaking of the Rays, on the Giants. Unfortunate. And our last card is going to be a Cody Bellinger in action, not a puzzle piece. So there you go. Not sure if we came across any image variations. We can definitely look for some short prints because those are going to be cards 401 to 500. There's one, Ben Gamel, 432. Usually I think you get about one short print per hanger box. So that's going to be it for that. So there you go. We got a short print. We got a bunch of inserts, couple puzzle pieces, some like AL and NL like league leaders, and a couple good names. Aaron Judge, Freddie Freeman, Juan Soto. But that was just a quick look at the 1972 season and the Topps 2021 Heritage. Let's move on. So now we're moving on to our 2022 Heritage, which is based on the 1973 design. The 73 design was unique because this was the first year that they started prioritizing action shots over just kind of standard poses. And you kind of saw that in the last set with some of those in-action cards. And now the base cards are kind of more like that overall. And then 73 was also the last set, interestingly enough, that Topps released cards in multiple series. And you might think that's kind of strange because we do have multiple series now, but for a while there we didn't. Prior to 1973, they were releasing the series in up to, I believe, 5 different releases, and it was creating a real shortage problem with some of the short print cards from the later releases, like, you know, important rookies and such. Mike Schmidt's probably the most famous example of this. His rookie card in 73 didn't come out until Series 5, which you can obviously see the issue with that. You know, very limited as far as the number that were produced and the number that were released, and people were kind of angry about it. So to combat this problem, Topps just decided to switch to a format in 73 where they just released all of the cards as one set for the entire year. And this continued all the way up until 1981 when they started releasing Topps Traded again. And now we have our Series 1, Series 2, and update, that sort of thing. But just kind of a fun little look back in history about something that they tried to do to fix a problem. But now I think they would probably lean into the problem and create even more scarcity. What are you going to do? But beyond that here, also in the 2022 Heritage set, we've also got some cool things like there's some relics that include stamps from the time. I'm not sure if you're a stamp collector, but I think that's pretty unique. And speaking of stamps, it also has these Venezuela stamps. They're also in the 2021 set too. Those are cards that are based on Topps designs from the 50s and 60s that were exclusively distributed in the country of Venezuela. So they have a very unique look. These all have kind of like a solid black border to them. Kind of a lower print quality, you know, intentionally. It's just kind of a throwback paying homage to those particular Topps sets. So we'll see if we come across those. We also have comic cards in these, which I think are really fun. So it's like a little trading card that actually has like a small comic strip of the player that's featured on there. I think little inserts like that are just a fun, break from the monotony of just, here's a league leader or here's somebody, doing X, Y, or Z. The 2022 rookie class was actually pretty good, but the sad thing is that most of the really, really good rookies, like J-Rod, Bobby Witt, Spencer Torkelson, Spencer Strider, those were all great players. They're all in Heritage high number, unfortunately, because they were called up later in the year. So the rookies that are in the 2022 base are people like Wander Franco and O'Neal Cruz. No disrespect to O'Neal Cruz, but Wander Franco is not exactly who we're looking to grab here. All right, let's check them out and see what we get. Same thing. All right. All right, and here's a look at the 1973 design. Like I said, it's just a little bit cleaner. I kind of prefer it to the 72 cards, but like I said, that's all kind of personal preference here. So let's see who we have here. Charlie Blackmon, DJ Stewart, Tim Anderson, Jurickson Profar, let's see, Lance Lynn, Gary Sanchez, Jonathan India on the cup card, Benintendi, Evan Longoria, Sal Perez. There's an insert with Randy Arozarena steals home plate. That was in the Red Sox Rays AL postseason. There we go. Got our first rookie. This is Alfonso Rivas. Austin Hayes. There's Aaron Judge. Always happy to see him show up. Here is our 2021 saves leader, Mark Melancon and Liam Hendriks. There we go. That was definitely one of the rookies that we were looking for in this set. The big dumper himself, Cal Raleigh. Very nice pull. Actually looks not that bad. The cuts are a little whatever. I'll take a look at it a little bit later. But I forgot to mention him when we were talking about our rookies. It's so funny because, at the time, obviously, he kind of flew under the radar. But after this season, he's definitely one of the names that people would like to go back and look for. So happy to pull that. Franmil Reyes. We've got a turned around card here. This is Matt Harvey of the Baltimore Orioles. I'm not sure, other than the fact that it's a short print. I have to assume that's the only thing that's different about it. I'll take a look at that and see what I can find. Oh yeah, also in the 73 season, I think this is when it was the 74 season that Aaron broke the home run record. But here you have one celebrating his 700th career home run. Alex Dickerson, David Fletcher, Jake Cronenworth, Alford, Colton Wong, Tyler O'Neill, Dylan Carlson, and Jake Fraley. So there you go. I think overall, the fact that we got a Cal Raleigh rookie is pretty awesome. I think the main goal for me personally, if we were going to get anything out of these card sets, is just going to be to find the good rookies that we might be able to find. And to be honest with you, that's probably the best one that we could have pulled in this set. So I consider this a success. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to our 2023 Heritage set, which is based on the 1974 Topps design. You can kind of see the card design here on the front of the box, but I'll go ahead and pop one up on screen so you can get a better look. The player is framed in the middle of the card with a colored border around them, and then there's a second tone of color on the top and the bottom for the team and the player names. So the card design is a little bit busier and a little bit more colorful than the previous years, but still not quite full 70s like we experienced before. Don't worry, we'll get to that. As far as the 74 season is concerned, I mentioned it before, but this was the season that Hank Aaron broke the home run record. The first 6 cards of the top set for 74 were dedicated to Hank achieving that feat, and the first 6 cards of this set are actually dedicated to Aaron Judge, because at the time he had just set the AL home run record. Beyond that, the box also tells us to look for limited and exclusive 74 Topps decal-edged minis. Those are little die cuts. They look pretty cool. I'll pop one up on screen. Obviously, we'll know that if we came across it. And there's also, variations to look for. These are a little bit easier to tell than, say, like the 72 cards where we were looking for, missing stars or color shifts. This one, it might be something like the player name and the position might like swap places or something like that. That's a little bit better. That's something at least I can maybe have a fair shot at recognizing. And also the rookie class for this year is actually really great. So beyond the Rookie of the Year, Corbin Carroll, which is a great player, we also have people like Michael Harris of the Braves, Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Riley Green. So it's pretty loaded, to be honest with you. So I'm really hoping that we pull some good rookies from this one. All right, let's go ahead and check them out. Alrighty. We're going to start out with a 2022 RBI leaders here with Judge and Pete Alonso. Oops. Alright, here's our card design. Here we have Rich Hill. Let's just move on here and see if we can find some of our rookies. There's Bryce Harper. Let's put anybody notable up here. There's DJ LeMahieu. More of this kind of action landscape shot. I do prefer those, I think. Or not even like as an exclusive, but every now and then you got to mix in some of these landscape shots. Lane Thomas, there's Stanton. All-star shortstop insert here with Trey Turner and Tim Anderson. That's pretty cool. Like anything with cross-league stuff. And there he is, right behind it, our Rookie of the Year, Corbin Carroll. Awesome. Like I said, this rookie class is pretty good, so I'm not surprised to find Corbin, but you know, it's not guaranteed, so that's always a great one. I'm going to go ahead and sleeve you up and show you some respect. And so my ultimate goal after, if we collect enough of these good rookies, is eventually, if they're good enough, I would love to send them off to be graded, and it's kind of like something for the channel that we acquired together, you know, as a viewer as well. Here's another rookie behind that people would recognize. There's Mark Vientos. Very cool. Like I said, this rookie class was pretty stacked. There's Ezekiel Tovar as well. People will recognize these names. Jeter Downs. Now we have Ian Happ back here on our vets. Jose Miranda, Miles Straw, Joe Musgrove, Carlos Perez on the rookie. There's Matt Chapman, Jose Trevino, Cole Irvin, Kikuchi. There's another Vinny Pasquantino. This is the rookie and the cup card. I didn't know that they did that. George Kirby. There's another rookie, Rosario. Here's our New Age Performers. This is an insert featuring Drew Waters of the Kansas City Royals. Martin Perez, Ryan Helsley. There's Tim Anderson again. A lot of Tim Anderson this video. JT, let's see, Nestor, Max, and Gabby Moreno. So that's going to do it for our 2023 box here. We did get some good rookies. I actually got a lot of rookies, to be honest with you. And once again, the short print search here. Let's go through and see if we got anything. So they usually give you one short print per container here. And this year is just like the others in the sense that we're looking for 401 through 500. Don't see it. Any of these? Any of our rookies? And it doesn't look like any short print for us. Oh well, on to the next one. And we're going to go ahead and wrap up our little Topps Heritage retrospective with a look at the 2024 set from last year. This is based on the 1975 Topps card design year. And if the 73 and 74 sets that we've looked at already were kind of boring or mundane by your standards, then you'll probably really enjoy the 75 set. It's unlike anything else I've ever seen, to be honest with you, as far as the design. It's so colorful. It features a two-tone color. The top and the bottom of the card are different colors, and I believe it's that way for every single card in the set, like it's all different. So needless to say, it can get a little busy when you're looking at it, you know, kind of en masse, but I think they're pretty cool looking. As far as the rest of the set, it does have some fun inserts. The box tells us to look for Baseball Sensations gold foil board. Not sure what that looks like, but I have seen these cool Zoos Who stick-on cards, and these are really funny. They're basically like a picture of an animal, but it'll be an animal that's like a pun on someone's name or a reference to someone's name. So like it'll be a card with a catfish on it, but the back of the card will say Catfish Hunter on it. You know, that kind of thing. So it's just kind of silly, but I do enjoy stuff like that. So hopefully we'll pull one of those. And also the 75 was the year that Fred Lynn for the Boston Red Sox won both the Rookie of the Year and the AL MVP award in the same year. So there's some inserts in the set that are dedicated to that feat, which has only been accomplished one other time in history with our boy, Ichiro. You know, he's not exactly our boy, but I do love Ichiro. Tremendous player. And as far as the rookies are concerned, there's actually some really good rookies in this class, including headlined by our boy Elly. So hopefully we'll come across one of his rookies in here too. But also people like Evan Carter, Jason Dominguez, Sal Frelick. There's actually some even better names in the high number. That's Paul Skeens, Jackson Merrill, Jackson Churio, etc. They're all in 2024, but it's all in high number. So we might have to get some of that separately just to chase some of those names too, because those are some great players. The only other thing that's different that I could tell from the 2024 set is they flipped the short prints. The short prints are actually cards 1 through 100 in this set, as opposed to 401 through 500 in the other ones. All right, let's go ahead and check out our cards. A little bit of a longer video. I do appreciate everyone sticking with it, if you have. All right, here's a look at our cards. You can see right away, look how colorful these are. I think these are actually pretty fun. The first time I saw them, I wasn't a huge fan, but like a lot of things, they've kind of grown on me over time. Let's go ahead and see what we get here. You have Moncada, Westberg, Chris Bryant. There's Emmett Sheehan on our first rookie. I'm going to keep a special lookout for some of these here. Zach Wheeler, Jose Abreu, Trick Cabbage, Altuve, All-Star third base, Yandy Diaz. All right, stolen base leaders for 2023. There's Acuna, our boy. Go ahead and put you up here. Moving on, losing track of my piles here. There's another rookie. Austin Riley, we'll go ahead and put any of the Braves we can put up there. That's fun. Kevin Gossman, former Brave. Nah, you go down here. Parker Meadows on the rookie. We have a 2023 Victory Leaders card here. Zach Eflin, Chris Bassett, Spencer Strider, Zach Gallen. Well, I did say Braves up here. Why not? Gordon Burns, Christian Walker, Zach Remillard. There's Garrett Cole. Jacob Young, Emerson Hancock. Oh no, I don't know if we're going to pull our boy. It's not looking good. Here's Kerstad. That's cool. That's a good name there. And here's a card. This is looks like a throwback here with Anthony Rizzo on it. And behind that, we have a New Age Performers insert with Clayton Kershaw. Oh, you know what? I think this is the one that the box told us about, the Baseball Sensations Gold Foil, I think. I'm not sure the exact print run of these, but I do know that they're a limited run. But that's a look at the 2024 cards. I think they look pretty cool. And we'll definitely try to look into getting some of the high number stuff so we can look for more of those rookies. I'm going to go ahead and clean these up, and we'll do a quick recap of everything that we got. But before I do that, let's quickly look for short prints. So like I said before, the short prints in this set are going to be cards 1 through 100. Nothing doing there. Unfortunate. So that's going to do it for our little Topps Heritage retrospective. I went ahead and laid out everything that we got today as far as what I thought were the best cards from each box. Obviously, we didn't pull anything crazy, but we did get some good rookies. As far as my favorite card from all of the boxes, it's definitely got to be one of these two, between Cal and Corbin. Very happy to get them. I'm kind of sad that we didn't get one of Elly or any of our other boys, but that's just kind of how things play out from time to time. But please let me know in the comments which one was your favorite set, or which one even was your favorite card from within that set. I think I know the answer for some of you, but I'm interested to know what you guys' opinions are. And don't you worry, we're going to see Heritage moving forward here in the future because, as I mentioned, a lot of these good rookies are in the high number series. So I think we might hunt down some of the 2022 and 2024 high number to see if we can find some of those rookies. Stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in on this little bit of a different episode here on the Retail Rip Review. I really appreciate you taking the time to travel back through time with me. And hopefully you had a lot of fun doing it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.